Well, hello and welcome to Jack Kramer's Los Serranos Golf Club, and we'll be looking at the North Course today. Not too terribly long at 6151 yards. Keep in mind, all the comments I make today will be in perspective of my own driving skills, which is about 200 yards or less. I rarely drive it over 200 yards. So keep in mind, I'm a very short player, and that's where the comments will be tailored to. Okay, we start off with a nice par five, not terribly long, fairly wide open off the tee. The sand trap or bunker on the left may come into play. The one on the right rarely does for shorter hitters, longer hitters for sure. What characterizes this hole is the hill coming up here that's going to interfere with your second shot. You're going to land up there somewhere, either the bottom of the hill or the top of the hill, and leaving a blind third shot onto a very tiny, tiny green, probably the smallest one on the course, but still a good par hole. Okay, hole number two here gives us a medium length par three. The bunkers down here guarding the green are fairly wide, so wide open, so not really causing too much trouble. Just execute a good shot, and you have a good chance at a par or a birdie. The green is not too terribly difficult to putt, so good luck here. Hole number three is a short par five, but I think it's the most difficult hole in the course, just for me. There are several factors that make that a problem. Driving is not too big of an issue. A lot of room down here. You can go in the bunkers on the right, but there's a uphill all the way here, and you're going to end up with your second shot in here. Now that's where the hard part starts. This green is well guarded by these bunkers. You're going way uphill, and the green is very shallow. It's a steep break from the left side to the right, and it's a two-tiered green. It's just a tough little hole to make a par. If you get one here, consider yourself lucky. Okay, hole number four is a short par four, fairly wide open off the tee, not too much difficulty here. You want to stay off the left or the right side if you can, favor the left a little bit. Those bunkers really don't come into play, and maybe for your second shot if you screw it up. The difficulty here is this green, very well protected. That front right bunker gets a fair amount of activities. Try to stay out of it if you can, but you can see it's again very shallow, and it's hard to get the ball to land on here and stay. Hole number five is reasonably linked par four. The bunkers usually don't come into play. Maybe the one on the left sometimes, maybe the right if you get a good shot off. Um, the green is two-tiered, which makes it the challenge part of this hole. If it's in the front tier with a red pin, then you have a good chance at a par or even a birdie maybe. But the back tier is fairly short and very tight. So if you're back there like it is today with that blue pin, that's going to be a tough par just because it's such a small target. Well, nice gentleman here waving up to the drone, saying hi on this medium length par three. It's a downhill shot, so the tendency is to take maybe a less club, but those two bunkers guard this green very, very well, as you can see. I would suggest taking a regular length. Do not take a shorter club, and make sure you get it onto the green and avoid those two bunkers. Otherwise, it's a good chance for a par. Okay, the seventh hole is a decently long par four, and it's got a strange little valley in here that sort of collects balls off your drive. The bunkers on the right can be in play, but this valley makes it awkward on your second shot. You're never sure if you're gonna have a downhill lie, uphill lie, or whatever. So getting it on the green from there can be a challenge. That gentleman there is probably on his second shot actually. So tough hole sometimes. Can be had. You can't get a good par there, but if you get one, you should be very happy. Okay, the eighth hole here is definitely, again, for a short hitter, is a long par four. It's fairly wide open off the tee. You usually end up a little bit on the right side. That bunker down there is definitely not in play for a shorter hitters. The longer hitters definitely can do it there, but you can end up right down in there for your tee shot. Then the shorter guys like myself have to lay up somewhere in here. You leave yourself a nice little wedge onto the green. If you do all that and execute your shots, you'll be just fine. If you get close enough, you'll have a chance for your one putt par. Okay, this ninth hole is a very short par four, but they've done some things to make it not easy. It's actually sort of a pain in the butt here. There's a big tree way down near the green that prevents you from getting to the green if you're on the right side of the fairway. So favor left for sure, so you can avoid that tree. And that bunker can almost come into play for shorter hitters. For longer hitters, it definitely isn't into play. And that the green is two-tiered as well, but it's that tree that causes the major issue here. You just got to avoid that at all costs. Well, another basic par three, just execute your shot. If you do that, you got a chance for a birdie or a par. A good shot, really, those bunkers don't come into play. If you miss hit it, of course, anything can happen. But really, it's not a long hole, so just get it on the green and get your two-putt par, maybe a birdie here. Okay, number 11 is a decently long par four. Fairways, again, fairly wide. That the bunkers on the left do come into play for even for shorter hitters. So just be aware of that. And there's an out of bounds on the right, the hill there. So your tee shot's going to end up in there somewhere. Again, we're going to have to lay up though because we just can't reach that green in two, not the short guys. Put the ball right down in there. Leave yourself a nice little wedge shot. Flop that on, and you could have a one putt par. Not really too much of an issue. Okay, number 12 is a short but fun par four. It's really interesting here. You want to stay definitely on the left. You got a big dog leg here. Stay away from the right side. It's not going to kill you, but it had to be a much longer shot. You can hit that bunker. Do not, get in there. But you can leave yourself 100, 120 yards out if you get on the left-hand side. Big uphill here. Getting on this green is not always easy. It really isn't. But if you get in there in two, you got a good chance for a birdie or a par. Okay, number 13 is a very long par four. It really is. It's a dogleg right. Some friends of mine have cut the corner there through those trees and ended up further down on the right here. It's a really risky shot, but if you do that and succeed, you can get on the green in two. But otherwise, you're going to be back too far for that, and you're going to have to lay up down in front of the green. It's a pretty small little green, but if you've got a wedge in your hand, the bunkers are far enough apart. It shouldn't be too much of a problem. Just put it down in here somewhere in your second and flop it on the green and hope for a one putt par. Well, 14 is a long par five. If you get the wind in your back, it's helpful, but it's still it's still difficult. You want to get down here. You're not going to have trouble with the bunker on the left. The bunker on the right can come into play. Then you're going to have to dump your second shot down in here somewhere, and then you're going to have to lay up for your third. Long hitters won't have to do that, but your shorter hitters are going to have to lay up down here for your third shot. Then just wedge it on the green. Hope for a one putt par. Try to avoid that big bunker there. It really does eat a lot of balls. Okay, the 15 tee shot is right over this ravine, and it shouldn't come into play. It really doesn't, but visually, it sure messes with your mind. It really does. And it's a fairly narrow fairway out here. Again, it shouldn't be a problem, but that ravine just gets in your head, and then this crazy little pond gets in your head. They've just taken this par four, a short one, and made it a fun one. Made it a lot harder than it really looks. One little last thing they added to the hole was making a two-tier green, just to make it a little harder. Okay, number 16 is again a long par five going up a hill. It's just a long hole going up that hill. Your second shot comes down to the top of this hill, or maybe starts to roll down into the valley. But usually it's stuck on the top, and then your third shot will put you down in this valley somewhere. You'll be either on the hill facing the green or on the bottom. And now you've got to select the right club to get up onto this green. And it's a fairly small green, and they really made a challenge here because it dips really sharply from back to front. So if you're on there, a two putt is not a guarantee. Okay, number 17 is your basic par three. Again, just execute the shot, easy par. Hopefully, they had a pond in front of this hole many years ago, but they've removed that to make it a very basic par three. You really want to get a par here, that's for sure. Okay, 18 is a fairly challenging par four, 409 yards. Again, can't get there in two, at least we can't. Um, You can land up down in here for your tee shot. The left bunker can come into play sometimes if you get a really good drive. But basically, you're gonna have to come down here and then lay up in front of the green for a wedge onto this green. It's fairly okay green, not hard to putt at all. But there is a false front right in the front, very small one, but it's definitely there on a red pin. It's really dicey. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this day at Los Serranos, and thanks for watching.